Hi, it's Curt Gemme. I'm here at the Rec in Hartford with Geoff Luxenberg, Community Engagement Manager with Hands on Hartford. Jeff's going to tell us a little bit about their mission and what kind of stuff they've got going on in Hartford. Jeff, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me, Curt. It's great. It's great to be here at the Rec. And Hands on Hartford has been around for 53 years, believe it or not, serving the Hartford and the greater Hartford community in three key areas, and that's food, housing, and health. Basic human needs. That's where we focus. But one of the things that's special about it is we do that by really engaging volunteers and having a robust community engagement sort of wing of our nonprofit. So we work with corporate partners, private sector partners to clean up parks throughout the city of Hartford, to paint schools, to do anything that's going to sort of engage the community to make Hartford and the greater Hartford area stronger, in addition to meeting those food, housing, and health needs of some of our low-income and no-income neighbors in need. So it's a great place. It's a great nonprofit to work at, and we're over on Bartholomew Avenue in the Parkville section of Hartford, where there's a lot of excitement happening right now.
A lot growing there.
Yeah, so there's so much to talk about. So grateful to be with you.
You bet. So listen, you guys are doing amazing stuff. We did a food drive with you and raised some money and gathered some food, which was fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the growth over the years, because it was a small organization that has grown substantially, and it's allowing you to do different things in the community than you were able to do before. Tell me a little bit about the growth.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Curt. We're so grateful to Sentry Commercial Real Estate for all of your support and partnership with us in Hartford, and everything you've done has made such a big difference, and
you bet.
We really appreciate it. It's funny. We started out 53 years ago, before my time. It was just a handful of leaders in the faith community. Basically a couple leaders of some churches in Hartford got together and they said, we're seeing folks struggling in our church pews, on the street, in our community. We're seeing folks that don't have a place to live. Maybe they're under a bridge or in a tent. We're seeing kids that look like they're hungry showing up at schools, and we know that there are government programs that are supposed to address these things, but it doesn't seem like the need is being met. What can we do to fill in the gaps where government is not meeting the need? And they got together in a church basement basically, and they formed what was at the time called Center City Churches. And from there, more faith groups came on, then they started bringing in other stakeholders, and before you know it, 53 years later, it's grown into a roughly $4 million a year 501c3 nonprofit, Hands on Hartford, and we're growing rapidly, and for us, growth means meeting more needs, having a bigger impact in Hartford and the greater Hartford area, and so that's something we're proud of, and we're experiencing that growth because the needs are there and people are believing in what we're doing, but also because we're just fortunate that we have great partners like you, Curt, that are helping us get there, and it's a special thing.
That's awesome. I think Hartford needs that, as do many communities. So we're super happy to be supporting that initiative. Obviously with growth comes the ability to do different things, and I don't want to keep you too long here. You could talk about a number of things that the organization is doing and doing really well. But the initiative that just launched in July, which I think is pretty exciting, is Gather 55. Tell us a little bit about what Gather 55 looks like.
Yeah, thanks so much.
And how did it come to fruition?
Yeah, we at Hands on Hartford, we really pride ourselves on being innovators and in the nonprofit sector, and we want to add value in a way that maybe others aren't. And we actually found out about this model of feeding people, where it's called a pay what you can restaurant or a pay what you can cafe. And the concept is, forget about the soup kitchen that you've heard about. Forget about the model where you walk in because you're hungry and somebody slops some food down on a plate, and you should be grateful for whatever that food may be, and never mind if you're allergic to it or if it's not culturally appropriate to your needs, and you should be grateful that you're getting this help. And there's nothing wrong with that model in the sense that it was feeding people who were hungry, and that was better than folks being hungry. But what we've learned across the country is there are some of these inclusive, pay-what-you-can cafes and restaurants that were popping up. The most famous one was launched a couple of years ago by John Bon Jovi, a famous celebrity, in New Jersey, where he just said, look, I'm gonna have a restaurant. Anybody can walk through the doors of this restaurant and be treated with dignity and respect and get a high quality restaurant meal. You order off the menu, you pick what you want. A volunteer or staff person serves you like a waiter or server, and everybody's treated the same. Everybody's treated the same. And when the meal's over, if you can afford to pay for your meal, you pay for it and you're supporting the cause. If you can afford to pay for half your meal, you pay for half. If you don't have a nickel to your name, it's okay. You don't have to pay a nickel, and you get treated the same way as the other customers in the restaurant. So we're breaking down that notion that we're separating people based on whether they're food insecure or not, and based on their economic needs. Instead, what we're doing is bringing people together around high quality food and giving people the dignity of choice, both in the choice of food and also the choice of, can I contribute something today or not, and will I?
Sure.
And so when we studied this model, there's only a few of them around the country. We actually had staff fly out there. We learned everything we could about the existing ones that existed. There wasn't one in Connecticut. Didn't exist in Connecticut. We decided that at Hands on Hartford on Bartholomew Avenue, we wanted to have the first pay-what-you-can restaurant in Connecticut. And so that's what we did. We launched it. It's called Gather 55. The idea is gathering all different types of people together around high-quality food and treating them with dignity. And I got to tell you, there is so much excitement about this new way of addressing food insecurity in this dignified, inclusive way. People are loving it. We're having a lot of success with it, and it's been a really special thing since we launched in July.
That's fantastic. I'm assuming your launch was nothing short of stellar.
Yeah, well, we were lucky.
Some hiccups and so forth, I'm sure, but
it's interesting. I mean, there are some operational challenges. Anytime you do something new, there are some challenges, and so we have worked hard to kind of power through those challenges and problem solve some of the things that popped up. But it's really been outstanding. And one of the really special things that we've noticed is, we've had folks maybe that have been struggling for years that came to our community meals program, we used to call it, for years, and they loved it. They loved the way they were treated by Hands on Hartford. But now that it's Gather 55, some of those same folks have actually said, I want to pay $1 today towards my meal. And we've noticed that they've been proud to do it. And
Sure.
to see that, I mean, of course, we're super grateful to get the paying customers in that pay the full price, and without them, we can't meet the needs, and so we're grateful for our paying customers. But from a programmatic impact standpoint, to see some of the same folks that want to pay what they can and are able to contribute maybe $1, maybe 50 cents, maybe $2 towards their meal, and feel some pride about it, that's been really special for us too.
That's awesome.
And it's a total shift in a way to provide services. But so far,
nice.
I guess knock on wood here.
Sounds good.
So far, so good.
So listen, Geoff, I appreciate you joining us. We would love to continue to support, and will continue to support the organization.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Good luck with Gather 55. We'll spread the word. And anybody looking to support an organization like this, we'll provide you some information. And enjoy the day. Jeff, thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate
thanks.
you joining us.
Thank you, Curt. This
All
was
right.
great. Thank
All
you.
right, sounds good.
Yeah.